I know
That is
you had
how
an
I
April
know.
Fool's gag. I had one too. We're going to get to it. I just want to talk to you guys about the origins of April Fools. I don't know how many people know where it came from. And it's actually kind of an interesting. Do you know what the story of April Fools?
I have no idea. I feel like I'm going to get a history lesson. I'm enjoying it.
I kind of do. I kind of have a little bit of a history lesson.
You should put on a cap like you're a professor, Adam.
I don't have like a professor's cap.
I do have a professor's cap. I've ordered.
Do you?
Hang on.
Let's see what she's got.
I do have a professor's hat.
That is very, very professors. It's kind of doesn't work with the headphones.
No, but that's okay.
So it's kind of a cool story. It dates back to the 1500s. So it's 15. Let me get the date right. 1582. And so what happened was, in France, they switched from the Julian calendar to the Gregorian calendar. And the difference was, before that, the beginning of the year was around the end of March, early April, because the spring, the winter's over. Okay, now it's a new year to start planning for the next winter. So that's how it used to be. And there was I forget what it's called. It was like a papal announcement. He decreed that the beginning of the year would be January 1st and start it then as the new Gregorian calendar. Let's see, what was it? The Council of Trent in 1563. So, So it was the spring equinox that would start it. And people started, they didn't have the internet back then, right? It was in the middle of the 1500s. Is that the 1500s or the 1600s? The 1600s is like in between 15 and 1600?
No, 1600 is between 1600 and 1700. So it'd be 1500s. I'm pretty sure. I'm wearing a professor hat, Adam.
It's like the 20th century. Isn't that 1900 to 2000?
Yes, but if you're talking about the 1600s, it's going to be the 1600s.
But we're in the 21st century, and it's not 2121.
Wait, did you say 15th century? I don't know.
1582. That's the 1600s, isn't it?
No, it's the 1500s. I'm sure.
I don't know. No, Chad agrees with me. Chad's telling me it's 16th century is between 1500 and 1599.
That's not what you said, though. You said 1500s. That's different than 15th century.
1500s is the 16th century. Okay, so I see what you're saying. Okay, wait, hold on. Nishras, what do we got? What is it?
16th century. The 16th century.
16th century is 1500. 1500s is 1500. Ah, okay.
We're
so
both
you're right.
We're both right.
Okay, so you're both right. all right, good. All right, so we got it. Anyway, so April Fools, right? So there was no internet back then, and because they declared it in this city, right? And they're like, all right, the beginning of the year will be January 1st now. So they celebrated the new year, and everyone out in the countryside and around the country, they didn't know. So they were celebrating on April 1st. That just happened to be the date that they would celebrate the beginning of the new year. And, the social elites would be like partying January 1st, like, Happy New Year. And then they'd maybe travel to their countryside homes, and everyone's like, can we get the New Year's Day off? I'm just obviously making examples up, and they're like, oh, you pleb, New Year's was 3 months ago. Sipping their tea and making fun of the people that were celebrating 3 months late, calling them April Fools. So they were actually the fools of April, because they believed that it was New Year's and April 1st. So it's speculative. So they claim that that's what it is. That's the most agreed upon origin of April Fools. So it's kind of a
good story. That's a good
kind
story.
Of fun, right? It's kind of fun to think about. And then there's I have some funny. Check this out. So there's been some really interesting, hilarious. The time Burger King introduced the left-handed Whopper. Only for left-handed customers.
That's funny. And
it's some very serious differences here between the left and the right. They are just switched, and it's. That's pretty good. When I first saw that, I was laughing because that's pretty good. This one's also pretty funny. April Fool's Day in 1957, the BBC created a hoax in which they convinced the nation that spaghetti was grown from spaghetti trees in Italy and Switzerland. Spaghetti trees.
That's industrious right there.
It's pretty funny. And then we got this article, why we should ban April Fool's Day. Now, this is from 6 years ago. Can you imagine? This is 6 years ago. And I'm going to skip this whole article because the last paragraph sums it up perfectly. And I'm seeing this constantly. I saw it last year. I'm seeing it today. Skip all this stuff. Those days are going strong. Why do we need April Fool's Day at all when we're served a steady diet of hoaxes every single time we log on to the internet? The conceit behind the great media-based pranks of old was that sources we normally trusted were sharing something that should obviously be fake. Ha ha. But now it's become a commonplace. That joke, like any joke you see repeated over and over again, just really doesn't seem funny anymore. And here we go. We don't need April Fool's Day because every day is April Fool's Day. I mean, the sentiment of that is thick in the past year. Am I wrong?
Well,
am I right?
no,
am I right?
You're right, but I have to say, I'm not in favor of banning April Fool's Day because April Fool's Day is the only day of the year that I could say something like Joe Biden won 80 million votes and it would make complete sense.
Or that, I'm starting to think the Democrats really are the more sane of the two major parties.
And I said this one like 20 minutes after midnight. So it really, people were unfollowing me. They were very upset. And so I had to post a follow-up.
I scrolled down a little bit and boom, this tweet is from an account that no longer, people are deleting their accounts over this, Carlin. Jeez, what did you do?
This is probably my best April Fool's Day prank ever.
Slamming her phone. My goodness, this is great. I couldn't help myself either. I'm going to ask him to rejoin the Timcast IRL show. People were like, "How dare you?" And I was like, "Well, it's better than saying I'm going to rejoin the Timcast IRL show." I mean, I tried to make a joke with some truth in there. Mm-hmm. The best April Fool's jokes are based on some truth or something that could happen, say Zuby here. After careful thought and reflection, I've decided I'm leaving Twitter. Grateful for each and every one of you. I mean, the problem is it could be true. I could have asked him to rejoin that show. Zuby could leave Twitter because it's a cesspool, as we mentioned earlier. Mm-hmm. And you may lean, your liberal side might be like, listen, come back over here. Get over here.
It's true. I have been complaining a lot about the Republicans lately, so it would make actually a lot of sense.
Yeah. I mean, there's fun jokes, and then there's telling someone to something that they wish would be true, and that, it's dangling a low-hanging fruit and then ripping it out from under them. It's there's certain things that are just brutal. I don't know, people, and someone said only people who aren't funny make jokes on April Fool's Day. And there's funny jokes and there are funny April Fool's jokes, but most of them aren't funny because they're just mean, you know? You got to have a tinge of truth for them to be good. And that's why I feel we shout out to Zuby because he had a good one too.
Yes,
and I'm sure there's others out there. But of course, me and Carlin, we gotta prop ourselves up a little bit, right?
Yeah.
I mean, what I'm saying?
You're supposed to pat on the back for that one.
I thought it was good, but I got a lot of people. A lot of people were retweeting mine, yes,
it's all happening.
We've been waiting for this. Maybe we'll finally figure out what happened. No,
you'll never know.
No, it's not gonna happen.
No,
sorry. Anyway, segue to the next subject. Let's move on, shall we? And just dangle that and leave it hanging. All right. Anyway, happy
such a tease.
What's up?
You're such a tease.
Happy April Fool's Day, everyone. I hope you had a wonderful day so far and that you didn't get too got by anyone out there.